of both sides of the aisle, that legislation was advanced. We will carry that forward, and we will be mindful of the investments that it's going to make. We also want to reiterate that July 15th, families in all of our communities, in the chairman's district, in my district, can expect to see direct payments through the child tax credit. This is so helpful in lifting families out of poverty. This is the Social Security for our children, and this is so helpful to all of us. And it's going to be something that House Democrats advance and talk about as we go home and after we celebrate our nation's Independence Day. We know when our families succeed, our communities thrive. And so this is an effort, the child tax credit, in order to help continue those investments. With that, the chairman will answer all your tough questions.
Questions?
Chairman, you mentioned the January 6th committee, and you want to be able to get to the whole truth, and that includes the conversation that the Leader McCarthy had with President Trump?
Yeah, it's my expectation that whoever winds up chairing the select committee will pursue all available angles in terms of individuals that will be called before the committee to testify. And I think that Leader McCarthy has indicated that he's willing to testify and share the contents of that conversation.
Mr. Jeffries, the language in the
Go ahead, Manu. Go ahead.
The language of the resolution says that McCarthy could pick names in consultation with Pelosi. So do you think that the Speaker should reject any Republican who might have voted to overturn the electoral results on January 6th?
That's the Speaker's prerogative.
What's your position on that?
I'm not going to get out ahead of the Speaker on that.
Congress is often a reactive institution. Republicans have been driving this narrative about what's going on crime. In 1994, there was a big crime bill written by the current president. The Democrats thought was going to help them win the re-election, and didn't work out that way. Are you concerned that Congress is not addressing the issue of crime since you guys are in the majority? And why haven't we seen a Democratic crime bill?
Let me address this issue of narrative, and I want to yield to Pete. So we're to believe that the radical Republicans who have chosen the big lie over the rule of law are going to lecture the country, the Congress, and the House Democratic Caucus on law and order? Are you kidding me? These are people who are denying what took place on January 6th. That was a violent attack on the Capitol. There was a mob that was there to assassinate the Speaker, hang Mike Pence, and hunt down members of Congress. More than 140 police officers were seriously injured. A few may even lose sight permanently. The ability to function moving forward, for many of them, lost permanently. So we're not going to be lectured about so-called law and order by a party that is leaning into lawlessness and disorder. Now, President Biden appropriately has indicated that the country has two challenges in front of us in this space. Public safety, which we're going to continue to try and lift up, as well as ensuring that there's justice in policing. And I fully support what President Biden laid out a few days ago in terms of making sure we deal with skyrocketing rates of gun violence and the pipeline of illegal guns into far too many communities throughout America, including many neighborhoods that I represent in Brooklyn. President Biden has also indicated that we have to invest in communities that have traditionally been left behind. Inner city communities, rural communities, small town America, Appalachia, create opportunities for young people through after-school programs, academic enrichment programs, recreational activities, music, art, dance. It's a comprehensive approach to dealing with public safety, and I think it's a smart approach. Pete?
Just echo what the chairman said. We appreciate what the president has offered here. Many members of our caucus have served in state legislatures. We've served on city councils and county boards. We've had direct supervision of police budgets. And when you talk to police officers and you ask them, What should we be spending our resources on? You know, many of them will tell you that they're guided in the wrong ways. Do you want a police officer responding to someone who's homeless? No, you want someone who is a caseworker who can help navigate them through government services in order to do that. That's the most cost-effective way. So we're not going to be lectured to by folks who don't believe in supporting our police officers, as evidenced by the supplemental that we passed here. You know, we put resources to protect our Capitol Police officers and to protect this dome, and where were Republicans? So we're not going to be lectured to by folks who don't support our own Capitol Police officers and want to try to talk to us about crime.
Mr. Egbler, just to follow up on that, because over in the Oakland City Council is looking to redirect their funds elsewhere as opposed to putting it towards their local police departments. As far as the American Rescue Plan was concerned, it wasn't mandated for local communities to put the federal funds towards police departments. So just in general, as far as Democrats are concerned, are they actually pushing such policies as eliminating cash bail, Mr. Jeffries? Are they looking at such policies as pushing consent decrees towards police departments? That is what a lot of the American people are sort of looking at right now. Where does the Democratic Party stand on those particular issues?
Sure, and a lot of those issues that you mentioned are worthy public policy topics, but many of them are being addressed at the state and local level, which is where they should be. And so, you know, we support our local communities and those closest to the people having some of those conversations as a community. But what I was saying is when you talk to line police officers on what's efficient, what's an efficient use of spending your time, oftentimes they're not guided in the most efficient ways, and we can save resources. We can save public safety resources by channeling those in the right ways while helping our communities. I think that's one of the messages. We want to be smarter on these issues as well, and I think that's a message that the President shares.
Congressman Aguilar, Mr. Jeffries, a question on infrastructure. Is it still the policy of the House Democrats that you're going to only vote on a bipartisan infrastructure bill if the Senate first sends over reconciliation? The President has sort of walked back some of his remarks. We just want to see where you guys stand.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, our job is to make sure that we can move both investments in our crumbling bridges, roads, and tunnels, our water and our sewage, our infrastructure systems, our railways, in the way that's being contemplated by the bipartisan agreement, and also make sure that we're investing in jobs that will be created and are necessary in home care, in long-term care, in health care, in child care, and in the broader caring economy. And I think that we're going to do both, and that's our job. And President Biden laid out very clearly what was part of the Build Back Better agenda. American Rescue Plan, done. American Jobs Plan and American Families Plan, we're working on that right now.
Is the vote contingent? What is your view? Is the vote contingent, though?
I don't know that I would use the word contingent. These are priorities that we have that are broadly shared throughout the House Democratic caucus. I think the Speaker and the Majority Leader have been clear about how we're going to proceed, and I expect they'll continue to be clear about how we will proceed moving forward in the weeks to come.
They haven't been clear to us, so could you describe what your understanding of it is?
My understanding is that we're going to invest in the American people. We're going to invest in jobs. We're going to invest in as far as I'm concerned, the American people want to know what our priorities are. And we're just going to lay out, here are the things that we're going to work on over the next few weeks and the next few months. And that's investing in fixing our crumbling bridges, roads, tunnels, creating a modern 21st century infrastructure. That's captured in large measure, but not in its entirety, by the bipartisan Biden plan that was agreed upon. And I think President Biden has been very clear, House Democrats have been very clear, we're going to invest in long-term care, in home care, in child care, in health care. We're going to invest in resiliency, in a green, sustainable economy. We're going to invest in housing to create and preserve affordable housing for the American people. and we're going to do it legislatively. We're going to do it decisively. We're going to do it over the next few weeks and the next few months.
Congressman Aguilar, can we get your opinion about the January 6th committee and what you hope will come out of this?
Well, as the chairman said, and as the speaker has said, this is a commitment to get to the truth. That's what we want to. That's what we want to get to. That's what the commission is going to have a mandate to do. That's what our expectation is as rank and file members. That's our expectation of them, is to get to the truth. We know that there have been a variety of smaller reports that have been done. I've read a number of them from my role in House administration, flash reports from the Inspector General. We know the Senate has done some work on this. We know that Oversight and Government Reform has done some of this. The role before the commission is to pull all of that together, be guided by the truth, and to have a frank and honest conversation about who knew what when, who responded, and what more we can do to prevent something like this from ever happening again.
What's your opinion of the Republicans basically saying that you just want to continue this till the midterm elections?
No, this is the only thing we want to continue is to get to the truth. And so they had an opportunity, and I don't think it should be lost on any of us that Mitch McConnell and Senate Republicans, turned this opportunity away to have a bipartisan, even split commission. And when we wanted to engage, and even here on our side, Kevin McCarthy backed away from John Katko negotiating on behalf of House Republicans. So we don't know where they stand, but everybody knows where we stand, and that's we're going to be guided by the truth. That's what this commission is going to get to.
Congressman, how long?
Before we get to that question, I just want to add, and then we'll get right to you. Kevin McCarthy and the radical Republicans refused to take yes for an answer. John Katko, the lead Republican on the Homeland Security Committee, negotiated a bipartisan commission consistent with what happened in the aftermath of Pearl Harbor and what happened in the aftermath of September 11th. And House Democrats, led by our Speaker and led by Chairman Benny Thompson, yielded on several points. They wanted an even commission. We gave them an even commission. 5 Democrats or appointees, same number of Republicans. They wanted to have joint subpoena power. We gave them joint subpoena power in the commission. They wanted this to wrap up before the end of the year. Speaker Pelosi agreed that the January 6th commission would complete its work by the end of the year. Kevin McCarthy refused to take yes for an answer, and now he's got a select committee.
Following up on the timeline, how long do you think this investigation will last? Do we have any idea of the final draft or the final report?
We're not certain. We have to take one step at a time, and I think the next step will be to set in motion the select committee tomorrow, and then we'll await appointments to be made by the Speaker in terms of a chair, and then I think they'll set forth the timeline thereafter. Last question?
Speaker Pelosi extended proxy voting along with the Sergeant-at-Arms through August 17th. What's your understanding, one, as to why that August 17th deadline? Also, why do you think proxy voting needs to continue given the mask requirements have gone away and you guys are meeting in person again? Why is proxy voting continuing?
Well, we're still having hybrid meetings, and we'll continue to have hybrid meetings for the duration of proxy voting being in effect. And it's my understanding that the Speaker continues to consult with the Capitol physician and with the public health experts, the Sergeant-at-Arms as well, in terms of what's appropriate. And I assume that when the current covered period will expire at some point in August, it'll be revisited, and we'll see what happens after Labor Day.
Is the issue members who have children who have not been vaccinated?
I'm not sure what the issue is. The Speaker's call. Thank you, everyone.
Can I follow up on that
Yep.
for a quick second? You had all 7 members of the Michigan Democratic delegation go to Michigan when the president was there at the end of May. That is not the purpose of proxy voting. That is not a health concern. They're all signing a form that says we're doing this because of health concerns. So is it being used for the reason that it was designed?
Yeah, I haven't been chronicling a list of what member is someplace else for whatever the reason may be, and maybe somebody else is keeping that list, but I'm not. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.